Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Attleborough Town Council meeting being held this evening, Monday the 7th of July 2025 at 7 p.m. There's no fire alarms or anything like that planned, so if one does go off, if you could vacate the premises by the entrance at the front where you came in, or through the entrance behind us, please. That'd be much appreciated. First thing I'd like to do is welcome the three new councillors that we've taken on since the election last week. Councillor Adams, Councillor Middlebrook and Councillor Allen. Welcome, and hopefully you'll participate well. Item 2, apologies for absence. I think we've got full house on here. Okay. Item 3, declarations of interest. Anybody got any interest they'd like to declare? Councillor 7A. 7A, right, okay. Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, I did note that there's a payment to Brecon Council for the joint officer. Sharon, do you want me to leave for that?
Which one?
The payment to Brecon Council, or just declare personal interest? Personal.
I'll go the same on that then, please, and also on item 15, Brecon car park parking proposal. And as Brecon are asking us to team up with them for the safer street warden scheme, are you wanting a declaration on that as well? It'd be a partnership between Brecon and the town council, but I'm aware there was a financial contribution.
Yeah, I would say so then.
Okay, so then for those 3 items, please.
Okay.
And me, thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Right, moving on to item number 3, item number 4, public participation. Following last month's meeting, I'm going to have to be rather strict on the 10-minute rule, and each individual is limited to 3 minutes. Can I ask if anybody wants to speak on any of the agenda items? No? Okay, we'll take priority for the agenda items, please. So, lady on the...
No, I haven't got any agenda item.
Okay, sorry. Person that side then, I can't quite see. Oh,
Me.
Mr. Thwaites.
I'll stand up. Last month, I stood down from this council on personal grounds of integrity. Someone around this table leaked confidential information. And then when they were challenged, someone around this table lied to all of you and didn't step down. So we know that they're breaking the Nolan principle. So my question is, what are you doing about it, for starters? And B, you are aware that as a council, you can also be held responsible for breaking the Nolan principles as a body. So it's very simple. That one person has destroyed the trust that I had in this council. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out who it could be. Aren't many people. But what are you doing about it, please? It's really important.
Not sure what we can do, to be perfectly honest, but other than asking pertinent questions, I mean, anybody got any ideas? Well, suspend the timer. Any thoughts? Any thoughts? No? Councillor Taylor.
So to uphold principles of leadership, the town council, if they believed one of their members had broken the Nolan principles, could make a standards complaint about that member as a body to the authority, which would be Frecklin Council, to review and consider that complaint. I think we would have a very difficult time, while we could all speculate as to who that person is, actually proving it. And I think that's where we fall short.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else got anything to add to that? Okay, thank you. Anybody else, any comments? Yes, please.
Can I ask my question then?
Sorry?
Can I ask my question then?
Yes, yeah.
I don't know very well. Okay, my question is for Councillor Allen. First of all, I want to know that during the hustings, that why you vilified a long-standing member of our community, Biplock, I guess most people would know him, why you bullied him and called him out at the hustings for a period of some 10 minutes. And also the other question is that you came in on a ticket of going to overthrow the current council and received quite a good share about that. And also that you said that you would get out the standing members of the council, which was a certain family, as you put it, that everyone seemed to know who you were talking about, and also a member of the council that had broken the law. So in the interests of openness and honesty, I'd like to know why you vilified Biplock in the way that you did, because it was a terrible performance. And also that I would like, in the interest of openness and honesty, which is also something else that you said, I would like to know why you want to overthrow the current council and how you intend to do that. I assume that when you got up and spoke that you actually had a plan. Thank you.
This is a council now.
Yeah.
First of all, on your remarks to Biplock at the hustings, I was just merely demonstrating what we as councillors can and can't actually do. And this candidate wanted to build a swimming pool. I don't know where the funding is going to come from to do that. You can't promise things that you can't deliver. So all I was doing at this point is demonstrating what we actually have power to do, and that was not one of them. With your comments on my remarks on other councillors, we're here to scrutinise each other. If I do something wrong, I want every councillor here to take me up on that, challenge me. I think we should all be here to scrutinise each other. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, please? Councillor, ex-councillor Votes.
Procedural question, I think. Many years ago, I was challenged from the chair, rather than chairman, mayor, when I was asking questions as to whether I was a registered voter within the ward of Attleborough. Much to his upsetness, I was. The reason why I want to check this is because I understand that if you're not a registered voter, you don't necessarily have a right to ask questions or poke and prod the council. Is that right?
I would have thought so, yeah, I'm not entirely sure, we'll have to go away and check that.
Yeah, just thoughts maybe contemplate.
Councillor Dale.
You can't, on the annual assembly,
That's
if you are
limited to
not
parishioners, isn't
a
it?
resident of Attleborough, no, you can't ask questions. But I haven't heard it on a normal meeting. But the
No.
annual assembly, no, you have to be registered on the voting list to ask questions on that
Yeah.
one.
That's my understanding as well. and,
Yeah, I
we'll-
wasn't sure.
We'll go away and check that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
I was under the impression it was just that you couldn't take part in a request to have a poll.
Yeah.
If you're not
Yeah,
elected
yeah,
registered, but asking questions and things.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll check that for you.
Okay,
Yes, please, Emily.
thank you.
I think your point is right. I think if you can be representing a member of the community, but meetings are open to all, but that's not my question. I just want to clarify, I know we brought this up last month,
but it wasn't included in the minutes. Can you please clarify what the chambers is? Because there seems some confusion whether it's a town council initiative or an external group. And if it's a town council initiative, fine, but it needs to be made clear, because obviously you're processing all their paperwork and invoices. If it's not a town council initiative, then why are you processing all their paperwork, etc.? So it just needs clarification so people understand, is it a town council initiative or is it not?
Sharon, can you clarify that?
I look upon it as a collaborative. It's collaborative.
Between who?
So between the town council and Breckland, because Breckland have funded it, as in we funded the equipment. It's an initiative that is meant to be not a burden on the council tax. So when it gets, if it ever got to the point where it was, we'd have to have another conversation. But at the moment, it's in surplus, so it's actually a fundraising exercise.
So what you're saying, it's a collaboration between you and Breckland. It's not an external group. It's between you and Breckland who are facilitating it, sorting the funding out, and doing the paperwork. So it is your baby with Breckland at the moment.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, more or less. But it's housed here. I think I've said that before, haven't I? It's housed here, and we're using the kitchen, and we're using the town hall's electricity, but for a good cause.
Yeah, I think it is a good cause.
Yeah.
I think it needs clarifying. If it's your initiative, great. I don't understand why you've stopped promoting it on your town council website. That's what raised the question, because you used to promote it, but you haven't been promoting it. Yeah, that's what made me ask the question. Well, is it a separate thing? And it's not on Breckland's website, so you know. So, but you're saying it's a Breckland and town council collaborative initiative. To facilitate, and at the moment you are facilitating by doing the paperwork and providing the venue and the electricity and that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else? Yes, please.
Good evening, Peter Neal. I'll ask the same questions I last asked at the June meeting. When is the gallery of the photographs of the former mayors going back on the wall?
We must arrange that.
Yeah, sorry,
it's just, we're down on stuff.
They are going back.
They are definitely going back.
You said that last time.
Yeah.
And then
we're a bit short on staff at the moment, so
but they will go.
They will definitely. I'll make sure.
I look forward to the August meeting then.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Yes, please.
I don't have a question. I just want to say how nice Queen Square looks with all the hollyhocks and everything.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay, we'll move on then. Thank you very much. Item 5, minutes of the last meeting held 2nd of June 2025 for acceptance and approval. Anybody got any comments? Yes, please.
Thank you. If I may, there's been a few concerns raised around discrepancies of the minutes of the last meeting. The minutes show no true reflection from the last meeting at all. There was a lot more issues and concerns raised and spoken about that aren't documented. Regarding the public participation, there is no full detailed questions and answers section. It's very brief.
Yeah.
Also, there is the minutes show lack of discussion and lack of debate.
Yeah.
So I won't approve.
Okay.
There is an answer to that.
Pardon?
There is an answer to that. Okay. That's quite a stock phrase in the clerk world, that they're minutes, not hours. So with public participation, you don't have to do anything verbatim. You don't have to answer or record verbatim. What the minutes are there for really is, in the main, is to record, give a flavour of the discussion. We don't even have to do that. It's really there to record the decisions of the council.
Yeah. Councillor Taylor.
I'd like to propose the acceptance as presented, please.
You need a second. Councillor Dalton. All those in favour, please.
So we've got majority.
Okay.
How many, can I just count please? Hands up please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 for.
2 against. Are you voting against or
Anyone
abstaining?
abstaining? Yes.
So obviously there's 3 Newtoners will abstain, yeah.
I did, so you, are you against?
Okay.
Are you against, Dawn?
Abstaining.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 6, to appoint a 5th member onto the Personnel Committee. Anybody interested?
May I propose that Councillor Bertrand takes that role, please?
Second that.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'd like to propose myself.
Seconder?
I'll second that.
Okay. Councillor Taylor. Anybody else? Yeah, it's a straight vote then. All those.
Which one, I guess?
Okay. Votes for Councillor Bertrand then, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You don't know, you can vote yourself.
You can vote for yourself. Votes for Councillor Dalton.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alright.
5.
Okay. Councillor Bertrand is elected then. Okay, moving on to item 7, financial matters. Part 1, to authorise payments. Anybody got any comment or? I suppose it's going now. Any comments?
Can I don't know what I'm supposed to ask this particular question now, but one thing I've noticed is that on the direct debits, we have.
Can we come to the direct debits in the second part?
Okay,
Sorry.
sure, that's fine. Sorry.
Just quickly, overall, I can't, since the change of their, how you upload the files, I can't access the finances, it won't be on the phone, is it like in a zip file? It just won't let me open them, so I haven't actually been able to see any of the finances.
Okay.
So I won't be able to vote from, so I haven't seen them. So I don't know if there's another format that I can have them received in.
Yeah, what I'll do is, I'll put them individually on the next one so that you can see them rather than a zip file.
If you won't mind, because I just can't access them. Thank you.
I have the same problem.
Yeah.
Can I ask the whole council to turn off the microphones when they're not in use? We're still getting feedback, so somebody needs that microphone active.
Yeah.
No, mine is on, but.
Can I have a proposal for the, item 1, the payments? Councillor Reynolds, Councillor Dalton, second. All those in favour? Okay. Part 2, to agree direct debits.
Is everyone abstaining on this side?
Yeah. Only purely because I haven't seen them.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Can't vote on anything they haven't seen.
Same here. And
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
And I'm not either.
I
Okay.
abstained as well.
That's okay, that's 8 abstentions, but because of abstentions, it's still
Right,
so
okay.
carried.
Item 2, to agree direct debits. Councillor Adams.
Yeah, sorry, the question I was going to ask was, I noticed on the direct debits, we use 2 companies for mobile phones, that's Vodafone and BT. I just wondered if there was any logic in that. Would it not have been better to stick with one company? And
Yeah,
all the phones?
unfortunately, we're in a contract and I can't tell you how long each one is, but the Vodafone is for myself and the assistant clerk, and the other one is for the ground staff.
Right.
So that's historical, and because we're caught in a contract, I can't really do much about that at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Have a proposer, please. Councillor Dalton, seconder. Councillor Wenham. All those in favour? Majority, I think.
Majority, yeah, okay. Any abstentions?
Any abstentions?
Yeah, one,
One.
So I'm doing both.
two.
Okay, item 3, to receive income. Any comments or questions? Have a proposer, please. Councillor Reynolds, seconder. Councillor D'Souza, all those in favour?
Majority. How many abstentions? If you put hands up, please. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Petty cash we haven't got this week, this time because of aforementioned staffing shortages, but then item 5, income and expenditure for June 2025 for information. Anybody got any questions? Councillor D'Souza?
Just got a question from a member of the public on the, I think it was expenditure. There was a lot of money spent on the dustpan and brush. I think it was £23. I did look it up and I think there were £3.50. I just wondered why the dustpan and brush was so
I
high.
don't know if that was multiple dustpan brushes. I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
Lovely, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
But because we've been trying to, you know, sort of like furbish the arch and also the Bono building, it could be related to that, or it could be a replacement.
Okay.
I'll look into that.
Yes, on this expenditure thing, we seem to purchase a lot of stuff from Viking office supplies, as in cleaning materials. Is there any particular reason for that? I would have thought it would be better to go to a company that specialises in cleaning materials, probably cheaper for it. I would have thought.
Yeah.
I think they do. I think that's the company that does the dustpan brushes.
Yeah.
They're expensive then.
They can be, yeah, but they're next day delivery, aren't they? And if you run out, sometimes you're desperate. Yeah, point taken. I'll look at that.
Councillor Burton, you?
Yeah, one last thing, I was been asked by a member of the public as well. A couple of items on here, they're not locally shopped. Obviously, for example, some electrical equipment from Hughes Electrical, when we've got My Hills in town. Obviously, I wondered why you weren't shop local.
I don't know about pricing. Could be that Hughes might, you know, if they had a sale on or whatever. I do believe that when we bought those televisions, they were on sale.
So maybe in future we can perhaps look at the locally business there.
We would, yeah, we do.
Can I just come in there and answer that question? The council were reimbursed for those tellies, so it wasn't actually the council that bought them. They were purchased through a donation, so the money came in as a donation, and that is the tellies were bought and gifted to the Bono building. So I would say like that, not the Bono building, the Arch. So they were gifted to the youth club, so it wasn't technically a council purchase.
Okay, that's fine. Right, moving on to item 8. Sorry.
Again, another thing I noticed is that we seem to purchase almost all, or if not all, the food that we purchase for the community cafe and the Sens. I think last month it was something just over £900 worth of food. Again, would it not be better to use a wholesaler such as Thomas Ridley or Booker's or somebody? Would it not be cheaper than going to the supermarket?
Sometimes
Not
yes,
the cheapest
sometimes
in town.
no. Yeah.
Sorry?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It just depends. Yeah, depends what you're after.
Right.
Yeah.
So we do use.
We don't. I don't have an account with Macro or Thomas Ridley
Bookers.
or Butchers.
Can I come in there as well through the chair? Some of the stuff is actually bought from Macro, and there will be invoices in the accounts. And what's cheaper at Macro will be purchased at Macro, and what's cheaper in the supermarkets will be purchased in the supermarkets.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Taylor.
The Chamber's always welcomes volunteers, though, so if Councillor Adams wants to take it for himself to do the shopping, he'd be very welcome to.
Or the cooking, I've been off the last 2 Sundays and I'm also off again this Sunday. So if anyone wants to come and pitch in, like always, all members are welcome. I actually think it was 4 men that done the dinner this week, so there was one councillor and 3 volunteers. No, 2 councillors and 2 volunteers.
Okay, councillors' reports, item 8. Anybody got anything they want to say? Councillor Sousa.
I attended the Royal British Legion event to commemorate Armed Forces Week. It was the 28th of June in Queen Square. That was really well attended and well supported. Just want to say thank you to the chairman and secretary for that. That was really good, and I think the community had a lot of good positive feedback for that.
Excellent. Anybody else? Councillor Taylor.
So from a district perspective, there's £10 to a charity. Yeah. From a district perspective, I attended the opening of the 3G pitch in Thetford and President's Day, which actually was really inspiring to see how they run their SENS event in Thetford, and how the 3G pitch may well look when it hopefully breaks ground here early in the spring, which is a much needed facility once the old sports venue is refurbished and stuff. Hopefully that will bring some more in, and I believe the football club have been given priority booking there along with Morley Football Club and other groups, so hopefully that's going to be something that's good for the district. I've also had my regular monthly catch up with the licensing team, and it's probably just as well to take this opportunity to try and explain, because there is a very grave misconception in the community that all we discuss is public houses, which is completely nothing that we get to discuss unless there's a problem and it's brought to committee, and then 3 members are brought into committee to discuss that public house or taxi driver or whatever the problem is. And if that was an Attleborough business, it would never come to an Attleborough ward member. But this month, the team have been working really hard, and they're now going to start the work on our statement of licensing policy, which is a requirement from central government that's produced every 5 years, and that's got to be in January. So the team are now going to get their teeth into that and work on that. On the 18th of June, I attended the launch of Thetford's CAP, which is a community area partnership scheme that they run, that will be looking at, and now launching it, will be looking at on-street drinking and antisocial behaviour. It will be teamed up with their schools and other organisations and safer neighbourhood regions as well. And that was actually really interesting on how they're going to launch that. In fact, I think Dereham is the next market town that's earmarked to have that. It could well be something that expands to the whole of the district. They've been liaising with garages within the district regarding any garages' interest to help service taxis for the council, and that's come out well. And I think four garages in the district have come back and expressed an interest in helping us keep all our residents that are travelling by hire vehicles safe. And they've also been working on the district's sex establishment policy. And I believe that you've all had that email come through from Brooklyn for any comments. So that would be really interesting if anyone does have any comments on that policy, for them to get back and feed that in, so they can all work on producing that document. But I just thought if maybe I gave you a more in-depth, rather than I've had my licensing catch up, a more in-depth thing on what the team are actually working on, you would all understand better that it isn't just public houses. It's everything. In the licensing, Banham Zoo's just had a major inspection and passed with flying colours. The team also are responsible for that. Yeah, other than that, I've just had some civic events that have been really interesting to go about the county and attend.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay, thank you. Moving on. Item 9, the clerk's report.
hope it doesn't get feedback. Can you hear? Oh, maybe one of those. Can you hear me? No? No. Yeah, it should be unlocked. Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah.
Locked it,
No, I don't. think so.
There you go, Sharon. Yeah, try
Oh,
to stay that
thank you. It's the one that doesn't use. Thank you. Yeah, so- Okay. Since 2023, Brecton Council have appointed a partnerships manager supported by funding from the Town Council. I've worked closely with the post holder in the development and delivery of a range of initiatives aligned with the Neighbourly Plan and Future Brecton programme. Over the past year, the post holder has facilitated the installation of new wayfinding signage, footfall counters, which now serve as valuable assets in supporting town centre development and tourism. She has played a leading role in progressing the Signal Box project in collaboration with the Attleborough Heritage Group with the Town Council, currently considering the possibility of taking on a lease from Network Rail. She is also overseeing the wider renovation of the Attleborough train station buildings, with funding being sought to establish an innovation hub that will provide workspace and support for small and medium enterprises, startups and entrepreneurs, encouraging economic growth within the town. The splash pad project is presently in the design and survey phase. Full funding must be secured prior to commencement of procurement. A consultation led by the post holder indicates strong community support, with 91% of respondents supporting the concept. Following an initial presentation to the Town Council, the post holder has engaged with an organisation to advance proposals for paddle courts within the town. An assessment of potential new bus shelter locations has also been completed by the post holder to inform a forthcoming Town Council application to the Bus Service Improvement Plan, which is, we've sort of shortened that to BSIP. Funding opportunities continue to be actively pursued to support these and other forthcoming projects. The post holder drafted transfer letters to allocate £40.5 thousand Market Towns Initiative funding from Brecton to the Town Council for the Arches rent over a 3-year period, and secured an additional £2,000 to facilitate the provision of a disabled access toilet. In addition to project delivery, the post holder facilitates the Attleborough Development Partnership Board, which convenes representatives from town, district and county councils, along with Homes England and Harmony Land, focusing on the sustainable urban extension. She also contributes to the Neighbourly Plan Steering Group. Improving access to banking services remains a priority. Post holder has been instrumental in coordinating a multi-agency effort to encourage Link to establish a local banking hub. Despite clear community need, decision makers have determined that additional banking facilities are not required at this time, sadly. As a result, we'll continue to work collaboratively to deliver positive outcomes for Attleborough. Updates on Town Council assets. Work is still being done to the Bono building. Currently, we're having a new shower, retiling and flooring of the home changing room. And there is also now a new DDA compliant external doors which have been fitted. There has been a new CCTV system and intruder alarm installed for better security. Work is beginning to transform the ground floor front room of the town hall into a reception office space. The 3 remaining notice boards are now in place at Gamers, the recreation ground and the cemetery. Quotes are being sought for improvements to the Queen's Road Cemetery inner roadways. This will be costly and may have to be phased. A tree safety survey has been carried out on all open spaces with mature trees, and works to any high to medium risk trees will be followed up in the coming weeks. The grounds team are continuing to monitor and water the new community orchard at Blackthorn Road open space. The public toilets doors continue to remain locked. I actually wrote this last week, but parts have arrived, and I will amend that. They have actually started work on trying to get the toilets up and running. The electrician is working on the right-hand door. He's halfway through that particular job, but he envisages that hopefully the 2 toilets will be in action at the end of next week. We have got a disability access portal in place, and I've also now ordered a single one. And kindly, the Griffin Hotel has offered use of their toilets, and any visitors to the square are still welcome to use the town hall in opening hours. The works to repair the vandalised drain at the dell is expected to take place on the 16th of July. Works have begun to get the new play area in Lowland Road open space. They have recommenced the work now, so we're told by the contractor that all being well, the work should be completed by the 25th of July. And then there is some information on the opening hours of the arch, and I will endeavour to make sure that that's put on our website now that those groups have got going. So it's expected that in weeks to come, the old Tuesday club is returning at the venue, and there is a new creative, it's like an art group for special needs and disability children that will be taking place on Saturday morning between 10 and 12, and that will be starting around about mid-August. That's my report.
Okay, thank you, Sharon.
Sorry, through the chair, can I just ask a couple of questions
Sorry, yeah,
on the clerk's report? Sharon, on the clerk's report, around the arch and the work that the Benjamin Foundation are doing there, you mentioned the opening times. When we commissioned the Benjamin Foundation, we asked them if they would stay open till 9 o'clock, not 8 o'clock, because our young adults in the town actually don't have anywhere really to go. And I think the vision from the district ward members when we asked the town council to come in with us on this project was that it would facilitate, as well as the SEND children, because there is literally nothing in Attleborough for them, but it would take our young adults off the street and give them somewhere to go. And it's back, like you see kids up and down High Street, sometimes all night, sometimes till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And I know we wouldn't ever have a venue open till that time at night, but later than 8 o'clock, I don't see any 14, 15, 16-year-olds that would want to come in, sit on the sofa, get a can of pop out the fridge or make a hot drink, going home at 8 o'clock at night. And it just really concerns me that we did ask them to look at that and they've not come back to us with that amendment. It's great that Debbie's now engaging about the Tuesday club. That was a great loss when the Methodist Church shut that down. So the fact that she is now looking at coming back in on a Tuesday and using that facility is amazing. Thank you. And my other one was on the toilets. We did get some criticism Thursday for the state of the toilets. And I know that isn't really, I know they have a responsibility, the people that we rent them off for keeping them clean as well as we do. But thank you for getting it removed and collected and a new one put back in quickly, because it was absolutely quite vile. And some of my Labour colleagues from Durham were visiting and I think were absolutely shocked at how disgusting that it's being treated. So thank you for acting swiftly on that. And it's great to hear that finally we're getting somewhere, but if we could also have an update on how we're getting on with the company that failed to repair the toilets, would be great if we can have that for next month. Yeah, thank you.
Can I just ask one point?
Yeah,
Is, when the contract was put out, was there any retention monies with the company with the doors?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
it was a very complex order form, wasn't
Yeah, the order form was quite complex, yes.
it? And we basically specified in words of one syllable what we wanted, and
They
pretty much
acknowledged,
ignored it.
they did acknowledge, but they did ignore it, so.
It just
So
didn't.
we are going to take legal action against them.
Okay, it just didn't form a life. You know, you put contracts out and.
Depends on the scope
Yes,
of the
yeah,
contract.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
It was just,
Yes,
That's the
that's
question.
a valid point.
Was there any money that you could, keep hold of and use to help get them fixed this time? If there wasn't, then fine.
Okay,
I will deal with that all at once we've got the toilets up and running.
that's the most important thing, is to get the toilets up and running first. Yes, Councillor
Thank
Stevens.
you. You mentioned about the paddle presentation, which was presented to us in January, I think, of this year, which is really good news, obviously. Could you just elaborate? I think was it the proposal was for 2 courts when they came in January? Is it 2 still?
I think so.
And is that still at the cost of £36,000 per court? Because that was what was quoted, I think, in January.
Yeah, I think that as time goes by, it will inevitably rise.
It will go higher, yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder if we went for the first option or I think it was the one for higher, 46,000 for the glass court.
Yeah.
I just wondering which one we went with.
I think the main priority at the moment is to find a site before we start looking at the detailing, because unless you know the size of the site.
Was it games?
Yeah, those have been ruled out now. There is a site in mind, but that's commercially sensitive at the moment, so I can't really say.
No.
But that is progressing quite well,
Yeah.
that's all I can say.
Lovely, thank you.
Sorry, I have another, sorry, Sharon, I'm putting you on the spot. You mentioned the splash pad and in your list of what Megan's been working on as our project manager or whatever her title is. We actually have a meeting with Megan on Thursday, I believe she's come back and confirmed, as ward members, because obviously we will be contributing quite a large financial sum to that. Has she updated you that the costings have been exaggerated quite a lot because of rising prices? So I think we're just going to have this meeting to try and decide. I was just wondering if she had extended an invitation to the council for a representative.
I don't think she has.
Come in.
I will find that out.
Yeah, if you don't mind just checking.
Yeah.
If not, she also had availability for Friday here rather than Thursday at Elizabeth House.
Okay.
So just to like switch those figures about and have a look at options.
Yeah.
I think, and then she'll come and do a presentation to the full council.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 10, late. Sorry, Councillor Adams.
Yeah, I do apologise.
That's all right.
This Attleborough project manager from Breckland Council, I noticed in July, it's cost us £18,303. Is that a one-off payment or is that a monthly payment?
It's one-off for the whole year.
No, it's an annual payment.
It's an annual.
Right, okay.
It's jointly funded by.
And is it cost effective?
Highly. Very, very,
I don't know, I'm just asking.
very cost effective.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Item 10, late correspondence for the upcoming full council meeting that should read on the 4th of August 2025.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, I haven't got any.
Looking at questions. Item 11, the proposal to facilitate a town sports networking event. That's going to be organised by John Dennis from the Boxing Club. And we're going to collaborate with him, I believe, to organise that on the recreation ground.
If you don't mind, Andy. So I spoke with John, I think it was possibly last week, if not the week before. And this is something that he put forward, that he was eager to have like an active role in facilitating, as long as the town council supported. And the idea that he presented was a sports cafe where all of our local sporting groups could showcase themselves, what they have to offer, to get, new members undertaken in the sport, the activity, or, to recruit new volunteers or coaches or such like to help and assist. I did do a preliminary piece of work that I gave to Sharon, just because I thought it would be probably helpful for this, in terms of maybe consultations where sport is concerned going forward, and also to add to our business directory online of a range of different sporting groups that the town has to offer. Until I started looking, I didn't actually realise how extensive actually the range is. But did incorporate the kind of catchment and surrounding area as well. There is a bit of a base there, like a foundation of, groups that could be invited, and I do think actually, if should they all take up the offer, it could be a really spectacular event. Obviously, John from the Boxing Club, it was his idea, he's in favour. It has been muted with representatives of the football club. They have already expressed an interest in wanting to attend, and so have the Athletics Academy. So far, it seems to have been really well received. It's just whether or not the council are happy for the land to be used.
It's certainly something you've discussed at the neighbourhood plan steering group as well, so, I think we should facilitate it. Councillor Taylor.
I was just going to ask, and I do know you have put extensive work into putting a record together, but did you include the basketball club that play out from the high school? Because I sometimes think there's clubs that aren't seen out and about in the town that get missed. But I think, it should be nice. It'd be like a big old-fashioned sports day on the rec. Should be good.
You else got any comments? No, okay. We need to really propose anything.
Not really at the moment, it's just to sort of introduce it really.
Well, any idea on timescales?
Not at the moment, but hopefully by the end of.
Well, John said August, September, before the end of the summer.
Yeah, okay.
But it will have to act quite quickly.
Yeah.
On that basis, can we just, so that it's been ticked off, can I make a proposal that the town council is supportive and that the land at the recreation ground can be used to facilitate this event, please?
I'll second that. All those in favour of council acting to facilitate that? Yeah.
That is the majority, I'm not sure if Anthony. Councillor Adams, did you put your hand up?
Are you in favour?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's unanimous.
Thank you. Unanimous, thank you. All right, item 12, proposal to bring the events working group into the open spaces committee for consideration resolution. Would you elaborate on that, or speak to yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one less meeting really, I don't know how you feel about that.
Anybody got any violence?
Well, the only thing I'd say
one way or the other?
is that on the basis the majority of the events are likely to take place on the open spaces, it's sensible to run the two together.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Councillor Taylor.
I just think it would probably bring a little bit more like a regime to it as well, to make sure that there was things that were frequently coming forward, because there's a scheduled calendar of those meetings, and also would probably bring a little bit more transparency to it as well, as the open meetings that then are recorded with minutes.
Have you got any objection?
I've just got a question actually. Very simple one really. What is the working group, the events working group and the open spaces committee?
The open spaces committee basically looks after, as it suggests, the open spaces, the green areas.
Right.
The events working group, do you want to elaborate on that, Councillor Burton?
Well, to be fair, the events working group become non-existent really, because the last meeting is only me and Councillor Dale actually turned up to it. But on the basis of that, it was a working committee to discuss and help organise collaboratively events that town council are organising.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So on that basis, then on that actually. The last meeting, myself and Councillor Dow only turned up, and it wasn't really successful. I favour that we do version both.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to propose that?
I'll propose it, yes.
Yeah, I'll second it. Oh, Councillor Dow.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All those in favour? Yeah, unanimous? Yeah, okay, thank you.
Sharon, we will just need to review the terms of reference now that the has been carried forward.
For the open spaces.
Yes, please.
Okay, item 13, feedback from the sensational day on the 14th of June. I think that was your...
Well, I feel like there's been mixed feedback. Some has been very good, some has been, I wouldn't say bad, but constructive, certainly. I think really, I just wanted to put the feelers out to see whether or not it was something that the town council wanted to carry forward as an annual event. I think with your first attempt, there's always going to be, you know, a bit of like teething problems. But I think on the whole, the day was quite successful. I think there's certainly things that could be done to make it better, maybe more efficient, maybe have a shorter day. I know towards the end, some of the support stalls had dipped out and a few of them left maybe about 5 o'clock. And in hindsight, 7 hours probably is like a very long time. But at this point, I think it was just really to gauge whether or not it's something that the town council commitment wants to be made. Because obviously, if we do want to do it and bigger and better, the more time to make that planning, the more effective it would be. So it was just really to get a steer from the council as to whether or not it was something that they would be repeating.
Anybody got any comments? Either in favour or against? Councillor Dalton?
I would say we stick with it and we do it again next year. Or even if we ended up with 2 or more per year.
Councillor Taylor?
Can I say if we give it another go, give it another go next year and then review it rather than saying yes at this point it will be an annual event, because if it's a flop again or it doesn't work, not that it was a flop, that was words. If like we rejig it next year to see if it changes, then we can put it on a rolling annual thing at that point. But I think to say yes to an annual event at this stage.
It's too soon.
I think as well, if I may, I was just saying to Councillor Dale before the meeting started that I attended the President's Day with Councillor Taylor, and that was, you know, predominantly a sporting event aimed at children with additional needs. But they did have some fun activities as well, like the inflatable go-kart rings, where they'd obviously the track was inflatable, and then they would have the go-karts and other inflatable sports like golf and basketball and football as well. And so I know Attleborough Town Football Club did kindly bring their goals out for the kids to have a kick around. But there is some things that we could probably bring in. Obviously, all of that would have to be budgeted and accounted for. That would probably make it a little bit more diverse for a wider range of age groups. Because I think that was kind of one of the most commonly repeated feedbacks. And also, I did note on the income, there was the £500 from Breckland for the SEN that was paid into Breckland and then redirected to the town council. But actually, I think it's worth noting that the president of President's Day and the sporting club actually made that £500 cash donation to the town council in the spirit that they thought what we were doing and what we were trying to achieve was quite a phenomenal thing. So I think there should be some gratitude extended there. Perhaps we could do a letter of thanks, Sharon.
Sorry, Andy, last point. Maybe we should have acknowledged that came in as a cash donation and was a very generous one at that. It did actually mean one of the officers at Breckland had to visit a bank, which hasn't been done for a very long time, apparently, like to actually pay cash in. But I think it was also worthy to note that there were bouncy castles that should have been on the wreck that day. And obviously, for health and safety reasons, the company supplying those bouncy castles felt that the wind was too strong to put them up and actually breached safety guidelines on using bouncy castles. So I think if they'd have been there, that would have given other kids other things to do, so that was quite a shame. And I do know like the fair put theirs up and took it down and put it up and took it down as and if the wind changed. But at President's Day, that was mainly their main thing. They had about 10 bouncy castles and they were in full use literally the 3 hours that I was there. I was only actually supposed to attend for an hour, but enjoyed it so much I stayed for 3. But I think it's always a good thing to see children that don't always strive in other environments to actually have something to do. So I would support Councillor Dalton's proposal.
Okay. All those in favour? Okay, thank you. Yeah. Right, item 14, Scouts lease update. Sure.
I've chased it, but I haven't heard back from the solicitor yet. So
Okay, thank you.
I'll report on that once I get some news.
Yeah. Item 15, the Brackland car park proposal. Similar situation there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Waiting for feedback from Brackland.
Yeah.
We'll report that as soon as possible.
Can I ask questions, please?
Sure.
Obviously, I did attend the last meeting, but it was again waiting for feedback and things like that. So is it that the district council are trying to unload it on the town council, or the town council are requesting the taking ownership of these car parks? How's it working? Because I have a significant concern if it comes to the town council.
On what basis?
Well, I mean, if it comes to the town council, you then got a financial burden, you've got maintenance upkeep, which potentially could lead to the charging for the car park. If it's coming from the district council, if it comes with a community sum, as with sort of a developer puts open space in or something like that, to get the council to take it, they give a community sum for a certain amount of years. Because it cannot only be a diminishing sort of, not necessarily a diminishing asset, but a cost burden over time. It will need servicing, it will need remarking, etc. So is it just a burden that's coming to the council?
Well, I take on board what you're saying, but that said, it has only recently been resurfaced and
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So the likelihood is that cost is going to be way in the future. But what was it? I can't remember the reason why.
Andy, would you like me to give some insight on Councillor Taylor? And I won't be voting, but I am allowed to participate in discussion, so I can probably try and address some of Councillor Middlebrook's problems. And I can also go back, if Council would like me to, and try and G up the officers that are doing this to give you a little bit of a response. If you would like that assistance.
It's being proactively worked on. So I had obviously a meeting this afternoon in Thetford, and car parks were very, very briefly touched upon. And it is just a case of, you know, these things, especially a freehold option, do take time. So if we have progressed with a leasehold option, that could have been all tied off quite nicely, quite quickly. But as the town councils, and it's not just us, it's, you know, actually most of the market towns have requested the freehold option on the basis that they think it would better safeguard that asset for their community. So that was the town council asking for that. So it was offered at a lease, but the town council has asked for a freehold. And that is because with local government reorganisation, if it doesn't come down to the town council and the town council then don't have that control on that asset, chances are it's going to go up, and it will probably have national charging rather than, you know, if we did have a parking charge to cover the costs that you've outlined, where it's a modest fee that reflects, you know, what our community's needs are, that's going to be far better for the town than if you're paying city prices because it's a blanket that's thrown out across the whole district.
It's just to get some understanding of the background.
Just to try and, no, I completely understand the concern. And I think, you know, everyone around the table, I mean, I think I can speak pretty collectively. I think it was quite unanimous, had the concern that if it was to go up, not come down to us, what the implications would be if there was an astronomical parking charge and how that would affect the high street. So really, it's just trying to prevent that from happening and have it so that actually it could be, if a charge was introduced to cover its costs, so it washed its own face, you're not allowed to make a profit as a town council on charging on car parks. You're not allowed to overturn a profit. It's got to break even with the maintenance and the costs associated.
Yeah, the wardens go around and check all the tickets and things like that.
But you're not allowed to make a profit on that. So it would just be a modest fee that would cover the costs so that it weren't to the detriment of the taxpayer or, you know, our precept, but without actually having that risk that if it went up to another authority that we would then be facing, where chances are that there would be charging for sure, and that it would not reflect Attleborough's needs. It would probably reflect the unitaries'
needs, which I will just add, I attended a service in Norwich only 2-3 weeks ago, and I got charged £9 to park for 3 hours at that service. So the fear, and it's going to come when unitary comes, and it will come. The town is going to see increases in numerous things. Our council tax, 100%, is going to increase quite dramatically, because they're assuming the average will be taken to whatever merge we ask. If it's one merge for the whole of Norfolk, one unitary, the average for the whole of the county will probably be taken, and that's what ours will go up to. And being the lowest in the county, Attleborough, the Breckland district, will see the biggest increases on whatever option there is, whether it's 2 unitaries or 3 unitaries. I think Breckland, along with 5 other districts in Norfolk, are pushing for a 3 unitary council. So we would potentially merge with West Norfolk. That will see the lowest increase, although it's going to increase, but that would be the lowest if we got that option. And I still think that that's somewhere muted about 30% increase in our council tax if we get that 3 unitaries. So, and that's just on the figures that they've been trying to pull in from other councils, what they pay and what they collect. But that would be the same probably with car parking. There will be a district account.
I just wanted some background, so I thank you both.
Yeah. But I can always ask when we're there Thursday if we've got any further. I know you've just said you've had an update today.
Well, the other scenario is the car park gets sold off to a private organisation, an NCP or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sky's the limit on costs, and then they might even sell it off and develop it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, so we got control of it.
Yeah, it was just to get some background.
It obviously needs careful consideration. Yeah. It needs the figures to stack up, but that was the thinking anyway. Yeah. Okay. Item 16, proposal to revise the social media policy for consideration resolution.
You're in secretary.
Oh, that's still drained agenda. I didn't get anything from you, Jake.
No, they don't.
So.
Okay, sorry. We're getting wrong. Okay, consideration for safer street wardens in Attleborough. Do apologise.
So we've got the letter here. So it's sort of whether the council is interested in having a safe street. I personally don't know too much about it. I don't know if you.
Do you want me just to?
Yes, please.
So basically, this was something that was tried and tested in Thetford, and I mean, obviously, I'm not going to pretend that this is my area of expertise. I think it actually falls within Tristan's portfolio, so it's a shame that he couldn't be here. But basically, it's been tried and tested in Thetford because it has been proven to be so successful. Which I don't know if in the letter we've actually got any of the stats.
Can't see any.
No, but there has been some feedback from a consultation on the one in Thetford, and I'm sure, although don't quote me on it, the feedback was like something like 90% positive. So off of its success, they're proposing to roll it out across all 5 of the market towns. I had noticed that obviously recently we've had some feedback about CCTV in the town, and although obviously that might not be something that's feasible in all areas, because obviously where are we attaching it to, the cost implications, obviously having town council assets for it to feed into, otherwise having to get third-party approvals. I do wonder if something like this presence, would actually mitigate some of that demand that we've seen, especially in terms of antisocial behaviour. Obviously, I'll be abstaining, and I do feel like it's obviously a decision for the council to make, but I think it's part funded 50-50. between the town and the district as a partnership. And as I say, this is something that they're looking to roll out district-wide.
Councillor Bertram.
No, I was going to suggest, could we probably adjourn it onto next agenda item, Sharon, and you perhaps get some more information on how it will benefit us, because it's quite vague at the moment, particularly around like examples of how it's benefited Thetford, examples of feedback on the positivity, the exact roles and responsibility of the role in that, and just the examples rather than theory.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sharon, it might also just be wise inviting either Tristan as the portfolio holder or one of the lead officers to actually attend. So if members had any questions, they could take those questions. But I'd maybe seek what kind of time frame they're wanting a decision by, because I know this has been
really quickly.
Yeah.
It's quite quickly. So I was going to say, if you're going to ask them to come and do
maybe
a presentation,
GP&F.
do it at GP&F. So it's 2 weeks' time, not another month, because I know at our last full council meeting, our group meeting, it was brought up that actually none of the market towns had, there's another tenner for your chairman's charity. One from me. And now
20 there.
They was thinking that it had been slow on the uptake, and they were eager to progress it, because again, we've got quite a short window before there is going to be no district council. So any initiatives that we can get made now will level up, not disappear.
Councillor
The only question I had was, I believe at the end of 23 there was a £900,000 county council to district council to facilitate this. Has that all been used up in Thetford in the time, and therefore it only be a cost to the council, or is there still some money to contribute towards it?
I would have to ask, but I think that was a standalone thing in Thetford, and I think the presence in Thetford has been a lot more than what's being proposed for the other market towns. I think they were there 5 days a week, not 2 days.
Just wondered if they'd used all the funding up already.
Yeah, I'm not.
We need to check
sure.
that. Councillor
Just an old, worn up again. PCSOs. When we had PCSOs in town, we had very little problem. What authority will these people have? Why can't we have PCSOs back again? They are talking about bringing back in certain areas. And to me, a PCSO would be much more valuable than a street warden.
I agree.
Sorry, that's just a personal opinion, but I think, right.
So I just have pulled up some bits. So basically it's saying that they've secured safer streets round 5 funding to establish 2 safer neighbourhood warden posts. And they operate working at 18.5 hours per week. The impact has been overwhelmingly positive, with wardens exceeding the original objectives set out by the fund. A recent survey reinforces this success, highlighting not only reductions in crime, but also an increased sense of safety within the community. So they have been, by continuing to and expanding this initiative, it can further reduce low-level crime and antisocial behaviour across the district, enhance safety and confidence for residents, businesses and visitors, provide a proactive presence to deter crime before it escalates, and strengthen partnerships between local authorities, businesses and law enforcement. If we don't take this offer up, which I'm assuming the money that Breckland are offering to 50-50 match us is coming out of this pot of money, and they say the scheme will end in March 2025 if there's no support or uptake, and that's actually signed by our Norfolk Police and Crime Commissioner. It'll run out. That's why it'll be running out. So if we don't come to an end in March 2025, well, that's why I think they're asking if we want to join in and carry on the schemes.
Okay, Councillor.
Can I just ask a question? Are we looking at employing a number of street wardens specifically for Attleborough? Or is it going to be spread over all market towns?
2 for Attleborough, 2 for Durham, 2 for Thetford. So our contribution will specifically fund
Just
for
two,
Attleborough,
so two for this,
working,
and they won't go anywhere other than in that
no, Attleborough,
Or-
18.5 hours
surrounding area.
a week. If you,
Is that each or between?
Each. but they do normally work in pairs,
Yes.
the ones in FET do. I think on our crime and antisocial behaviour, we're a lot lower in Attleborough than some of the other towns.
So some of the things that they'll undertake is public engagement with perpetrators of ASB in problem areas, provide a physical presence on the streets and hotspot areas, ensure early engagement in interventions to prevent drunken disorderly behaviour if that's something that we experience an issue with. We currently don't have a PSPO, but if we had, that they would be enforcing that. Public engagement to enable them to feel safe and create a physical presence and feeling of safety, help and support to vulnerable persons, reduction in crime and ASB, people feeling safer and less fear of crime, increased pride of place and better reputation of safer and pleasant areas to be in, increased feelings of safety and visibility of staff closely working with the police, and less litter, urination and vomit in public areas, which actually we used to have a bit of a problem with, but that's phased off a bit, I will say.
We all got the letter from Sam Chapman Allen, which states everything on here.
Yeah.
So, is it enough? Is it worth it?
In principle, it's the right way to go, I think, but presumably there's not an argument to have a PCSO instead.
No, and
That's not on
also,
the table.
I would like to know what training they have, what powers they would have. I'd like a lot more detail before I
Yeah, I
voted
can't
for
see
it.
that they have a huge amount of power, personally.
Yeah.
but- Anybody else got any comments?
Can I just ask, I mean, perhaps I'm being a little bit ignorant here, but do we have a particular problem with antisocial behaviour on a scale that is requiring this sort of treatment, or not?
We have had lately, haven't we? We've had lots of expensive doors into the Dell. They've cost.
So the-
Not specific to the council, I suppose, but just generally.
Well, the damage that was done at the Dell was a result of antisocial behaviour and vandalism. So was the public toilet doors, both of those separate incidents.
The public toilet's
Someone
been
ripped
ongoing,
down
hasn't
the
it?
camera at the public toilet as well. That's just had to be replaced at a cost of £1,300. Yeah, so.
Graffiti as well, isn't it? Councillor Allen.
Can we not just have more cameras in these places? There's enough power in town to hook a camera up. Can't we just have cameras?
Well, that's what Telly was saying about the third party, would have to have third party approval.
Well, can we look into this as well as an option?
I mean, they are in town, but somebody's got to look at the footage all the time, haven't they, as well?
Only if there's an issue though.
Yeah, not always clear. Anyway. Councillor Dalton.
Yeah, one of the items that was forgotten was the fact that there was spray painting going on as well, which around the cemetery, and that's not a very good thing.
No.
So it would be better to have a profile as opposed to just cameras, because cameras get ignored too easily.
But if these wardens at one end of the town, where there's a lot of antisocial behaviour, and then there's the cemetery at the other end of the town, they're going to miss it, aren't they? Whereas if there's a camera constantly,
maybe we should have a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Well, we could, but again, there'd have to be somebody monitoring those.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, Adele.
So I'm really, 18 hours a week,
That seems a shortfall to me.
it seems, 18, what they're going to do, they're going to work evenings, or they're going to work mornings. It really, I'd want a lot more detail before, because 18.5 hours is nothing in a town.
Not enough, no.
Nothing at all, and the damage that's done is usually done in the evenings.
Right, yeah.
Are they working late? There's lots I want to know.
Councillor Taylor.
So, obviously, someone did mention like stats earlier on what they do. So I have just brought one up, and this was a recent survey of businesses and residents in Thetford. And that was 96% of businesses see the wardens at least once a week. 56% of businesses have seen a reduction in crime, with a further 30% unsure. 90% have seen a reduction in antisocial behaviour. 86% say their staff now feel safer at work. 93% of residents believe that the wardens are protecting Thetford and the PSPO from antisocial behaviour in general. 94% of residents agreed or strongly agreed that they feel safer in the town since their induction, and percentage of residents that agree the safer street wardens are having a positive impact on the following issues: 83% on substance misuse, including drugs and alcohol, 85% crime, 73% public urination, and 89% litter, 83% of use causing a nuisance. So,
Do we know what hours they're working?
no, it didn't say that, but I think it's that age-old thing. People used to feel safer when there was a bobby on the street.
Yeah.
These work with the residents, and I think we do need to be mindful that although there are CCTV cameras in the town that are monitored via King's Lynn through Breckland, again, we've got change coming. Breckland is not going to be there. Don't rely on those cameras staying. I'm just, there's something we all take for granted, but when we merge and we level up, there will be losses.
Councillor Bertrand, did you?
I was just going to reiterate another proposal, really, because it's so vague. I appreciate the time is so short. However, I personally don't have enough information to favour this. Same as Councillor Dale, obviously, what can they do if they do spot someone?
That's key as well.
What can they do? What's their power?
Yeah. Just going back to Councillor Taylor's numbers, is that percentage of residents or percentage of residents asked?
Surveyed. It's a recent survey, so that will be the results of that survey.
Yeah.
The longer you're sat at this table, Jacob, you will know you can survey residents and you can send it out for weeks and you'll probably only get 8 or 20 that come back with an answer. So I can't give you those figures. I can ask for those figures and I can send them to you.
If you could,
that's
please.
not a problem.
Thank you.
Can I please ask that we move Councillor Bertrand's proposal to defer?
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, any councillor, we second that?
I'll second this.
Councillor Dale, second. All those in favour of deferring?
To the GPNF in 2 weeks if we don't have to. Yes, thank you.
If we can get some more information in the meantime. Thanks for that, that was useful. Public participation again. How many takers have we got? Okay, start up on my right, please.
Okay, I just wanted to say, as a matter of record, that it wasn't a very good answer from Councillor Allen. I don't accept that as his answer. And also that he promised to deliver something, you know, as part of a campaign, and yet he said that he vilified a member of the ethnic minority because they promised something that they couldn't deliver.
Please do, yeah.
Marcia, I think your question is political. I think you were an opponent in this election. I appreciate that you did not get elected.
No, I'm just asking you to say how you're going to deliver something that you promised.
I've sat here, this is my first meeting, come back to me in 6 months.
Well, I'll come back and ask later.
Okay, point taken.
In all fairness, I think everyone who's campaigning do promise something that they can't always achieve. Obviously, it's not personal to Councillor Allen.
Yeah, absolutely. Councillor Allen. Well, it's public participation, so. Yes, please, at the back.
If I just put my 2 pennies worth in it. I mean, Councillor Allen, to be honest, didn't do a lot of campaigning because he was handed the seat. Therefore, I can't understand what this lady's referring to when she said he made promises in his campaign. Because his campaign was so short, it was almost non-existent.
Yes, Dale.
For the new councillors, this period of time is for the public to ask questions, not for us to ask questions. It's for the public. It's the only opportunity they get.
I've stopped the clock, so it's okay.
Thank you.
if there's a direct question to a specific councillor, then obviously we deal with that, but it's not a general debate for councillors. Next, please, at the back.
Who's responsible for the removal of abandoned bikes in the town, and what period of time constitutes an abandoned bike? And why was a bike with a billboard allowed to remain chained to the railings for nearly 2 months?
Who looks after parking? That's Breckland, isn't it? Okay. It's not our responsibility, certainly, but the question was asked and it has been acted upon apparently.
That's not.
Yeah.
Yes, whose responsibility is it then? Who do you report it to?
Norfolk County Council.
Not the council's highway authority.
Whoever owns the piece of land. which
All
in
that.
instance is highways.
It's highway, that piece of land is highways, yeah. Yes, please, David.
First of all, there's been talk during this election campaign of not letting Attleborough Town Council get political. We've had a situation this evening where we've had 2 district councils spend an inordinate amount of time talking about issues that Breckland are trying to push through, talking about the possible dismantling of the current system, talking about what's going to happen when the system is dismantled. I think this is Attleborough Town Council's meeting, not a meeting for Breckland District Council. Secondly, the thing you were just talking about, this warden thing, was the figure 10,000? Yeah, was it 10,000? Well, are you aware that within your financial regulations and procurement policy, it clearly states that any expenditure over 10,000 must go before full council? So therefore, GP and Finance don't have the authority to pass this.
Well said.
Okay, my third point is the minutes. Now, the clerk said, I can't remember, you used a phrase that how you describe what's in the minutes. In previous months, under public participation, you have listed a question with a response. Yeah. Sometimes you can't answer it on the night, and you might just say, we'll get back to you. So you've got what the person said and what the response was. This month, there was nothing. There was just words. Like it was mobile phone. No detail about what the member of the public asked. Once again, you didn't list the figures for the mobile phones. But can you see there's no consistency? Yeah. And within those minutes, you once again, like you did last August, referred to me as an ex-councillor. The fact that there were 3 ex-mayors that spoke that night, there were 2 ex-councillors, but for some reason, you have to refer to me as an ex-councillor. In fact, there's another lady here who comes to all the meetings who's an ex-councillor. Now, I'm proud that I'm an ex-councillor, but you don't have to keep putting it. And you actually gave me a paragraph which you thought was more important than reporting the public participation. When the members of the public were raising issues, you thought that was more important to put a paragraph in about what I said rather than the valued questions that were raised by the members of the public. My last point is the website. I think it was alluded to earlier on. It's very difficult to access your papers. About the beginning of this year, you stopped putting them under meeting papers and that you asked people to go to a link on the agenda. And a lot of people can't do that, or I've been getting messages saying, where are the papers? And I'm saying, they're there, you just need to go. I don't know why you've done that, but it would really help from a transparency point of view if you went back to actually putting the papers under meeting papers so that people can actually access them without panicking, because you know what's happening, people think you're trying to hide something, and you're not, because the papers are there, but they can't find them. And this week, you didn't put up all the papers because you say you've got staffing issues, and the finance papers were in a zip file. And most people don't know how to open a zip file. So
We'll action that.
Yeah, it's just to keep, I know you're trying, but just
we'll action that.
The only trouble with the scanned, when we scan them, is when you need to then look back and you're looking for a subject, you literally have to scan through sometimes about 59 pages to find what you're looking for. Whereas if you have individual documents with titles, it's just easier to look back because you can home in on what you're looking for straight away.
But that's fine, but put them under meeting papers. Do you see what I mean? Rather than the link.
Oh yeah. I
see what I mean?
Also with the zip file, I've taken that on board, so that won't be on again.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just come in there?
Very quick. Sue, please.
Yeah, no, this is just, on behalf of AppCare, I was asked to contact Sharon, about the arch and the opening hours and all the things. That's why I waited till the end to see what has come out of it. There's an AppCare meeting next week. Could I possibly ask you to either send me what you've got when you know about opening hours and who's going to be doing it, so that I can report it back to AppCare?
Yeah.
Or if you haven't got anything, let me know and I'll report that back to AppCare as well.
Yeah, will do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Gentleman at the back, please.
Yeah, just a quick one. The alleyway from Lane Lane to Flutes. That's an absolute disgrace. There's brambles clogged. I've got a neighbour, she's 87 years old, with a voice bubble on a stick, and try to walk through there. I think Sharon knows where I'm talking about. Don't you, Sharon?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also the pavement through there is terrible, and also the long grass.
Okay.
Again, that's highway's responsibility, but we will get
I
on
will
to them.
report it for you.
I actually think some of the ones about Halford Place aren't highways.
Oh, they not?
No, because I know.
Oh, they have
in-
association then.
Well, I think they're, one of them, I think at least, is unadopted, because the one that comes from Halford Close to Eden Lane, I know in the past the Blooms have gone and cleared it,
Right,
because
okay.
it's not the town council's responsibility.
Okay.
It's not Wrexham Council's
We'll look into it anyway.
county councils.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
This were a couple of points really, I think they will be discussed. I was pleased that Councillor Middlebrook has, at least someone's got some concerns about Breckley taking over the car parks. I must admit, I looked at the swap with Bedford meeting notes, agendas, there's nothing on there, so I don't know all these other Breckley councils, I can't really see where they're discussing that. So I am pleased that at least one council now sort of question and talk about community sums, sort of same sort of language as I've used. But also with, I just want to clarify as well, with these South Street wardens, okay, which you mentioned. So has that decision now been deferred to a subcommittee or a committee? Is that what you've agreed tonight?
It is to expedite it, but I mean.
So they can't agree at the.
They can make recommendations to be ratified by full council.
So is it going to be brought to the next full council meeting?
Well, it will have to be if that's the case, but you know, we're short of time.
Unless you do an extraordinary meeting.
Well, we'll have to, that's the case, then, yeah. But it's going to the GPNF in the first instance to be ratified, and then if needs be, we'll have to have an EGM.
You can't do that. They can't, anything over 10,000 has to go before full council. That's in your financial regs.
Yeah, we'll have to have an EGM then, because it can't wait until the next council meeting. That's the workaround we're trying to find.
Well, you only need 7 days, don't you? You can do it.
Yeah. Yes, please, Leslie.
As Attleborough is a growing town, are the amount of town councils we have proportionate?
Good question.
I think that's decided by the district council, the boundary commission,
Yeah.
Is that something that you could?
We'll look into that, that's a valid point.
Because it's such a growing town, and it's going to be growing even more over the next 5-10 years.
I mean, certainly nothing will change until the next election.
It's just something I just think about when voting was going on.
I think when we do get the houses, 4,000 houses, which will be in a very decade.
Yeah.
As it grows, they might put 1 or 2 councils extra.
I would have thought so, that'd be right properly. Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you. Peter Neal again. I'd like to follow on from what Mr. Kay said a little while ago about some of the walkways and what states they're in. And yes, I know it's highways or Norfolk County Council, something like that, but we have, I believe, if I'm correct, we have the first level of management for this town sitting around this table. Can something come from the town office about the state of the grass areas? I don't mean where the children play particularly, but all the verges to the estates, the grasses that are growing up along the curbs, along the roadside, absolutely everywhere. Fairfields Estate, I mean, we have a councillor sitting around the table here now, he might say that I'm wrong, but Fairfields Estate is absolutely dreadful. I mean, there's grass, the grass that's cut hasn't been cut since May. All the ears of grass, it's bloody awful, excuse me, but for animals, you know, the dogs are getting them down the ears, and I've spoken to the vets about that. And it's continual, not just from Attleborough, but from other areas as well. But my concern is Attleborough. My concern is my dog. And I would like to think that the town council, that first level of management, can't do anything perhaps about it, but to shove it along with highways to get some action. It's now 2-3 months since those calls. It also makes the place look untidy. You know, we talk and we say what a lovely place Attleborough is to live, as many of us choose to live here, right? But it's looking disgusting. Please, can something be done?
We'll write to them.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, last one, please, in the doorway.
Just following on with that, I would like to know if the road sweeper and all the drains, like the suctions, I've not seen a road sweeper around Attleborough for a very long time. And obviously there's potholes coming and a lot of
Again, the home. I mean,
and it would be beneficiary if there was like a road sweeper and like a sprayer that's killing the weeds. Now I appreciate there's pet owners and that's not recommended, but we've let all the grass grow up and things, no mow May, so could that be looked into as well?
Certainly,
road sweeper and drain clearing?
in their support, I do see a road sweeper at least on a weekly basis. There is one that does come round, and the drains in my part of the town were cleaned out a couple of weeks ago. So it does happen, but probably needs to do more often than it is. So, okay, thanks for that. Okay, I'm afraid we'll have to move on. We've had our 10 minutes, so items for next agenda, item 18.
Yes, earlier today, item 6, we voted for a 5th member for the Personnel Committee. Obviously we have 3 new committee members today, there will be a 4th. Therefore, there must be places on some of the subcommittees. So therefore, at the next meeting, can all the available places on those committees be made known, so that members can put their name forward for those positions.
If you do look on the website, that will show the committee's list, and there should be vacancies on there.
Okay.
Anybody else? Councillor Taylor?
Yeah, before the next meeting, if my colleagues would just let me know if they don't actually want any information from a district level to help them make their decisions or to assist our residents. If they feel that information that I'm passing on doesn't help them assist our residents in making their decisions, can you just please email me and I will stop doing that. As for the political statement of it, Breckland is a organisation. I didn't plug any particular group, blue, pink, red, green. I gave information. It was definitely not a political statement. But if colleagues feel that isn't helpful, please let me know by the next meeting and I will stop assisting them in assisting our residents.
Any more? No, on that basis then, I'll close the meeting. Thank you very much. Thanks for attending.